But what I'm interested today is to talk about American foreign policy, in particular in the context of the Middle East. And I think we cannot really escape the conclusion that our policy in that neighborhood is nothing but an imperialist policy in that neighborhood. Did you hear what I said? With the capital I, imperialist country, not only in the Middle East, I would say everywhere. Right. And the objective of any imperial power is to control, to manipulate, and to influence the domestic and the foreign policy of many countries, particularly third world country, and in the context of our discussion today is the Middle East. Now let me give you a few ideas in support of what am I saying. And if you put me in the mood, we'll talk about more. So it's up to you guys. Now, if we look at the military establishment in this country, how much money do we spend on the military establishment? I gave you a handout, and that is for the year 2004. Because of the budget cut, I didn't update it to 2009. And yesterday I heard the bill had been signed about the military expenditure, which is almost in the neighborhood of $700 billion a year. Now, if you look at the handout which I gave you, we are spending approximately 50% of all the military expenditure all over the world. According to this table which I gave you, which you can go and Google it yourself, China comes next, 65 billion. And then you have England and France and Russia. They are in the neighborhood of 50 billion each. And the country which we are feeling the most is Iran. It spent only 4 billion in the year 2004. I don't know how many of you heard about a guy, Mahatma Gandhi of India. And some of you probably heard about Martin Luther King. And there are a lot of other wise men who said the following, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting. A great deal about our character, about our value, and about who we are as people. Did you hear what I said? That say a lot when we spend 50% of all the military expenditure all over the world. And then we say Libya is a threat to us, and we say Iran is a threat to us, and on and on and on. Let me give you another piece of statistic, which I think is important to keep in mind when we talk about foreign policy, is that we have more than 130 military bases abroad. They are all over in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, in Latin America, everywhere. And these military bases are manned by thousands and thousands of American soldiers. And we are spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on them. Why do we have them? Just because you want to have fun over there? And then people, they say that you are with us or you are against us. We interfere everywhere. I mean, these military bases has an objective in mind, is to manipulate and to influence the domestic politics of these countries in which we station our bases. And there's a third interesting evidence, which some of you may disagree with me and you may get mad, is that the 20th century can be described by a century of American interventions everywhere. We started with the Cuban War at the beginning of the century, and we ended up with Bosnia, and Serbia, I'm sorry, with the bombing of Serbia. And in between, we interfered in Philippines, we interfered in Iran in 1953, we brought the Shah back, and we interfered in Lebanon in 1958, we interfered in Chile in 1973, we interfered in the Dominican Republic, in Haiti, in Iraq, in Panama, and we started the new century with what? With the Afghanistan war and with Iraq war. So what I'm trying to say by this short introduction, you cannot honestly understand anything going on in the Middle East when you talk about American foreign policy unless and until you pay attention to the imperialistic policy which we are pursuing. So the invasion of Iraq It is not an aberration. This is one of the objectives of American foreign policy. And whoever tell you otherwise, tell him I said you are a big liar.